You are looking at an engineering disaster. A $50,000 missile fired to destroy a $400 drone. The attacker spends $400. The defender spends $50,000. Fire enough drones, and the defender goes bankrupt before the attacker runs out of material. This is the economic logic of modern drone warfare. And until 3 months ago, there was no solution to it. On March 2, 2026, Israel made history. For the first time in recorded military history, a high-energy laser weapon was used to shoot down a live aerial threat in an active combat situation. Not a test, not a demonstration. Combat. The cost of that intercept? Approximately $3. $3 of electricity. Welcome back to Grand Structures. This is the Iron Beam, the most cost-effective weapon in military history. And the engineering that makes a $3 intercept possible against the target moving at 100 miles per hour is some of the most sophisticated physics ever packaged into a defense system. Here is exactly how it works. The single question this video answers: how do you build a laser powerful enough to burn through the steel body of a drone from 10 kilometers away when the atmosphere between you and the drone actively tries to scatter and defocus your beam before it gets there? Because making a powerful laser is not the hard part. The hard part is keeping it focused, and the atmosphere is the enemy of focus. Here is the fundamental physics problem that stopped every previous attempt to build a battlefield laser. Light travels in straight lines through uniform media, but air is not uniform. Air molecules are constantly moving. Temperature differences create pockets of higher and lower density, and when a powerful laser beam travels through air, it makes the non-uniformity problem dramatically worse. Here is the mechanism. A 100 kilowatt laser beam carries enormous energy. As that beam travels through air, the air molecules in the beam's direct path absorb a tiny fraction of the laser energy and convert it to heat. Heated air expands. Expanded air is less dense than the surrounding air. Less dense air has a different refractive index. It bends light differently. The result? The center of the beam, where energy density is highest, heats the air most. The heated air bends the beam outward, away from the center, spreading the beam rather than letting it remain focused. This is called thermal blooming, and it is a positive feedback problem, which is the worst kind of engineering problem. More power in the beam, more air heating, more spread, less energy density at the target, need more power, more air heating, more spread. The problem gets worse as you try to solve it with brute force. That is the cruel irony. The more powerful you make the laser to compensate for the spreading, the more the beam heats the air, the more the beam spreads. You cannot win by turning up the power. You have to fix the fundamental problem, the air distortion itself. And then there's the secondary atmosphere problem. Dust, humidity, and water vapor in the air absorb specific infrared wavelengths, the same wavelengths that high-energy lasers use. A sandstorm reduces the laser's effective range by absorbing energy before it reaches the target. A humid day in summer, common in coastal Israel, reduces range compared to the dry desert air of the Negev. The atmosphere is not a neutral medium, it is an active opponent. The first engineering solution to thermal blooming is counterintuitive. Instead of one very powerful laser, use many moderately powerful lasers combined into one beam. This is called Coherent Beam Combining. The Iron Beam 450 achieves its 100 kilowatt output and 450 millimeter aperture through CBC and breakthroughs in adaptive optics. Here is the mechanism that makes this better than one powerful laser. Each individual fiber laser element in the array is a small, manageable unit. The thermal load on each element is moderate, not extreme. Each element's beam is individually controllable. Its phase, its direction, its intensity can be adjusted independently. When all elements are combined at the output aperture, their beams add constructively, like waves combining to create a larger wave. producing a combined output that is more powerful than any single element while remaining more controllable than one monolithic high-power laser. The phase control of each element in the array is the critical capability. Phase is the position of the light wave's oscillation cycle. When two light waves are in phase, their peaks and troughs align. They add together. When two light waves are out of phase, their peaks and troughs cancel. By precisely controlling the phase of each fiber laser element in the array, the combining system ensures that all elements add constructively at the target distance. The result? A combined beam that is tightly focused at the engagement range, not scattered. Coherent beam combining produces a focused, high-power beam, but the atmosphere is still there, still thermally blooming, still absorbing, still distorting. Combining the beams is not enough. The combined beam still has to travel through the atmosphere and arrive focused on a coin-sized spot at 10 kilometers. The solution is adaptive optics, and this is where the iron beam borrows from space telescope technology. Adaptive optics technology corrects atmospheric disturbances in sub-milliseconds, maintaining laser beam coherence across several kilometers despite turbulent air. Here's the mechanism. A wave-front sensor mounted at the beam director continuously measures how the atmosphere is distorting light at that moment. Not the average distortion, the current distortion, right now, updated hundreds of times per second. The wavefront sensor captures the shape of the atmospheric distortion as a mathematical map. That map is fed, in real time, to a deformable mirror. A deformable mirror is a mirror whose surface can be physically reshaped by hundreds of tiny actuators, piezoelectric elements that expand or contract by nanometers when a voltage is applied. By changing the shape of the mirror, the system pre-distorts the outgoing laser beam in the opposite direction from the atmospheric distortion it just measured. Pre-distort in the opposite direction. Travel through the atmospheric distortion and the pre-distortion cancel each other out. The beam arrives at the target as if the atmosphere were not there. Oh, that is elegance. The system does not fight the atmosphere. It predicts the atmosphere's distortion and builds the opposite distortion into the beam before it leaves. The atmosphere undoes the pre-distortion. What remains is a focused beam. The enemy is turned into the correction mechanism. Iron beam concentrates its 100 kilowatt laser beam onto an area roughly the size of a coin, approximately 25 millimeters in diameter, enabling engagement of targets smaller than a football at engagement distances of several kilometers. A coin-sized spot, 100 kilowatts. The energy density at that spot is sufficient to heat steel to its melting point in seconds. Focusing the beam is one problem. Keeping it focused on a moving target is a different problem entirely, and it is where the mechanical engineering of the iron beam becomes as impressive as the optical engineering. A drone traveling at 100 miles per hour crosses 44 meters every second. At an engagement range of 1 kilometer, that drone subtends an angular rate of change of approximately 2.5 degrees per second as seen from the beam director. At 10 kilometers range, the angular rate is smaller, but the absolute lateral movement is still 44 meters per second. The beam director, the physical mechanism that points the laser, must track that angular movement with sufficient precision that the coin-sized beam spot stays on the target continuously. Insufficient tracking precision means the beam spot drifts off the optimal target point, moving from the vulnerable motor housing to the less vulnerable airframe. Energy is wasted on hard-to-damage surfaces. Dwell time, the time the beam spends on one spot, is reduced. The target survives. The system scans thousands of times per second, capturing speed and altitude with thermal imaging detecting drone heat signatures from motors and batteries. Common path architecture and calibration procedures maintain perfect co-alignments between all optical channels, transmitters, and sensors, ensuring beam stability during rapid target tracking. Continuous calibration compensates for mechanical vibrations and thermal effects.
The beam director combines a course tracking gimbal, a large motorized mount that roughly follows the target, with a fine steering mirror, a small fast mirror that makes precise corrections within the course gimbal's position. The course gimbal handles the bulk of the angular movement. The fine steering mirror corrects the residual error at high speed. Together, they achieve the sub-milliradian pointing accuracy required to keep a 25mm beam on a target at 1 kilometer. And, simultaneously, the same deformable mirror correcting for atmospheric distortion is also applying fine corrections to the beam pointing. Atmospheric distortion and mechanical tracking error are corrected by the same adaptive optics system at the same update rate. The system does not separate these problems, it solves them together, because at the accuracy levels required, they cannot be treated independently.
Now the economics. And this is where the iron beam stops being an engineering story and becomes a strategic revolution. The Iron Dome to Mir interceptor costs approximately $50,000 per missile. Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iranian proxy forces have fired tens of thousands of rockets and drones at Israel. At $50,000 per intercept, the economic attrition of sustained attack is real and significant. The attacker fires $500 rockets. The defender fires $50,000 missiles. The ratio? 100 to 1 in the attacker's favor. The Iron Beam's $3 versus $50,000 cost difference is perhaps the single most transformative statistic in modern air defense history, fundamentally inverting the economic calculus that has always favored the attacker using cheap rockets against expensive interceptors. At $3 per intercept, the economics reverse completely. The attacker fires a $400 drone. The defender fires $3 of electricity. The ratio, 133 to 1 in the defender's favor. And then there is the magazine problem. A Tamir missile battery has a finite number of interceptors loaded. Fire them all, and the battery is empty. Resupply takes time. In a sustained barrage, the attacker can time their attack to exhaust the defense's magazine, and then strike when it is reloading. The Iron Beam has no magazine in this sense. As long as the generator is running, the system can fire. The limiting factor is fuel for the generator, not a count of discrete expensive munitions. A sustained drone swarm attack that would exhaust a missile battery's interceptors encounters a laser system that fires its 1,000th intercept for the same cost as its first. This is why the Iron Beam does not replace the Iron Dome. It works alongside it. The Iron Beam 450 is integrated directly into the Iron Dome command and control network, making the transition from missile to laser seamless for operators in real time. The battle management system decides if this threat is a drone or a slow projectile that a laser can handle, or a fast ballistic threat that requires a missile. The cheap threats go to the laser. The expensive threats, the ballistic missiles, the faster rockets, go to the missile interceptors. The expensive missiles are saved for the threats that actually require them. Let us go back to where we started. A $50,000 missile fired to destroy a $400 drone. An economic equation that favored the attacker. A war of attrition that the defender was losing financially before the first shot was fired. The Iron Beam inverts this equation through 3 engineering achievements that took decades to solve simultaneously. Coherent Beam Combining, many small controllable fiber lasers producing one high-power focused output. Adaptive Optics, a system that measures atmospheric distortion hundreds of times per second and pre-distorts the beam in the opposite direction so the atmosphere corrects itself. And Precision Tracking, coarse and fine gimbal systems combined with adaptive steering that keeps a 25mm beam spot on a moving target at a kilometer range. 3 physics problems, 3 engineering solutions, combined into a system housed in a standard ISO shipping container that can be repositioned without dismantling, integrated directly into the existing Iron Dome command network, so operators do not change their process. The network decides whether to send a missile or a laser based on the threat type. In the Siege of Stone, which we covered 2 videos ago, the rock was the shield. The bomb had to be engineered to penetrate it. In the new era of air defense, the shield is made of light, and light costs $3. This is the Iron Beam. This is grand structures. Here's the engineering question.
The iron beam currently struggles with heavy rain and dust, which absorb the laser's energy before it reaches the target. If you were the engineer tasked with solving the weather limitation, what approach would you take? Better wavelength selection? Radar-guided pre-targeting? Something else entirely? Drop your engineering answer below. Subscribe to Grand Structures and watch our bunker detection video right after this, because the adaptive optics technology in the iron beam and the SAR satellite technology in the bunker detection system come from the same branch of physics, the same science, two completely different weapons, same underlying principle.